Do you see this? This is a Mazda compact. It has leather on the dash. Now that is cool. So what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a 2020 Mazda CX-30. Now I know this is different from what I'm normally used to doing on my videos, but I got a lot of requests when I did a Mazda CX-5, so I figured it'd be a good idea to kind of take a chance and drive one of these things and just give you my impressions on it. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so really quickly I wanted to show you just some of the window sticker. I'm going to show you the pricing at the end of the video. This is going to be the 2020 CX-30 with the premium package and all-wheel drive. Polymetal gray is the color and it has black leather interior. And there is going to be some brown accents, so you will see that in the video a little later. And this is just going to show you some of the standard equipment for the car. Be sure to pause it so you guys can take a better look at it. The CX-30 does get surprisingly good fuel economy, 32 on the highway, 25 in the city, 27 combined miles per gallon. Overall, this car does have a really striking design. I do like the front end of this car. I want to show you guys the lights on this vehicle. This does have standard LED headlights, and your headlight is going to act as your daytime running light also, and your high beam. Now this light here, I'm going to show you in a second. When you turn the headlights on, this gives you your amber accent on the side, and this looks to be like an incandescent bulb. And just below they give you more accent lighting, which is an amber light too. Now let me show you guys the signals. The manufacturers are starting to get really creative with their turn signals. Some have switchbacks where it has a white LED, then it turns to an orange LED. This one here kind of like dims out. When it blinks, it dims. And you can kind of see it a little bit better on this mirror here. It kind of dims out. I think it's a pretty good touch to this car. It makes it look more upscale. But look at the overall design of this car. I really like it. Even with the plastic fender flares, it doesn't look bad. And I love the front end. Look at that grille. It has a honeycomb grille. And just overall design is just really clean and really classy. I like this color too. Now right out of the gate, I am on the highway right now, and this does have a 2.5 liter engine. Now Mazda just started to use a turbocharged 2.5 in the Mazda CX-5, and I did a video on that. Be sure to check it out. And I will say, having turbos makes all the difference. Now this thing is not that heavy, and by today's standard, a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder is actually pretty big for something this size. I mean, you know, they've been using 2 liter 4-cylinders in mid-size sedans, and in some cases even larger sedans. So this definitely does feel like it has a good amount of power when you punch it. And as all Mazdas, I mean, this thing handles really well, just changing gears, and you know, it's really nimble. I mean, I can't help but to say this car can put a smile on my face if I was on back roads driving. Under the hood, you do have a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It's going to be good for 186 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. And this is going to be their Skyactiv technology motor also. It's a pretty big motor inside this car. Same engine they use inside the Mazda 3 CX-5. One thing to note too, it's about probably like 95, 96 degrees. And when I turn off the engine, the fans are still running to cool off the engine. I never thought I'd see the day when I see like a compact car like this, and I'll say to you that 18-inch wheels look small. And 18-inch wheels actually look small on this car. Maybe a little bit more tire, maybe sidewall would be good, but these are 18-inch wheels wrapped in 215, 55, 18. I do like the overall styling of this wheel. It does really dress up the side of the car. And this is Bridgestone tires also. As you guys saw the turn signal in the mirror, you can see the aluminum style here on the roof. Looks really clean. Now some people may not know this, but this does ride on the Mazda 3 chassis. So this is basically referenced as a raised Mazda 3. Now you can get all-wheel drive on the CX-30, and they did announce that the Mazda 3 also was going to get all-wheel drive and a turbocharger. So that might be something else you want to consider if you're in the market for this. Now out back, you probably wouldn't be able to tell whether this was a CX-30 or even a CX-5 if you didn't see the badge. They definitely do kind of look very similar out back. Now this one does have an optional all-wheel drive system, so that is going to add a little bit more to the price of the car. Dual exhaust just below. And again, the overall styling of this car is really nice. I love how that back glass is kind of sloped down a little bit. It just really adds a lot to this overall styling of this car. I mean, you can even see like kind of the lines that kind of go up on the side of the car. It looks really clean, really nice car. Now, one thing Mazda loves to do is they love to reinvent the wheel when it comes down to the key fobs. Now, as you guys can see, there's no buttons on the key, but on the side they add the buttons here. So you have the lock, unlock, and then you have this button for the trunk that you have to hold down to unlock. It beeps at you, flashes the lights, and it pops it. And just really quickly, they are using LED for your license plate lights, and you do have a backup camera too. And you also have buttons here to put the trunk down also. And you can lock it back here too. What's not surprising is the overall trunk space. This does not have as much trunk space as you would on the CX-5, but it's adequate for this size. Now, this is a 60-40 bench, so you could have two people sitting here or one person sitting here with the other seat down. So that's just something that you can give yourself more space if you need to carry something longer or big. And you do have the buttons on each side. I would like to see them do a split down this seat here so you can put something long and still have people sitting on either side, especially if you have car seats in the back of this car. Now, if you do have a kid and they're right here and you don't see them, this will actually stop for you too and not, of course, crush the person that you love. Up top, you have a cute little shark fin antenna. Disc brakes are also back here also, which is pretty normal now too. They also even put carpet, or like a carpet material, I should say, inside your wheel well. So cleaning this is pretty easy. All right, so I just got off the highway. I'm gonna get back on here in a second. But one thing that you can guarantee from Mazda is this car is going to handle like a sports car. Ever since I've sold these cars, most people who fell in love with the CX-9 or even a CX-5 for that matter, they all said the same thing when they drove a Toyota, and even sometimes like a Honda or Nissan, they always said that the Mazda had the best overall feel. Now, it does come at a cost. I think that Mazdas do have more of like that German engineering, although it's a Japanese made car. They are a little bit more stiffer, and this car is not, it's not stiff, but it definitely feels like a sports car. So you can feel more of the bumps in the road, you can hear more wind noise for the most part. I mean, this is still a small car, and I feel as though it doesn't feel underpowered, but it does feel like I could definitely use more power. I feel like when you're going to accelerate, and we'll do a 0 to 60 run here in a second, but overall, like I said, it's still a well-balanced car. I mean, right now I'm averaging about 30 miles to the gallon. There is no stop-start. However, they do have a hold for the brake if you're at a stoplight. So if you're at a stoplight, you don't have to put your feet on the brake. See? My foot's right here. Now, most cars today have smart key systems. This car is no different. So you put the key in your pocket. You don't have it back here. So in order to unlock this door, you're going to have to unlock the front one. You just slide your hand into the door handle, and then you can unlock it from here, or you can lock it from here, and you can pretty much lock all the doors. Now, if you unlock it from here, it does not lock. So you may be able to set that up in the settings. So be sure to check that out if you do plan on buying this car and go on a test drive with it. One thing I will say about Mazda is this: their overall design and fit and finish of their cars are amazing. I mean, I love this brown with this. This is not really a black here. It's like more of like a grayish, dark gray. This is more black here, but very soft to the touch. I mean, stitching you can see on the door panel, and it kind of follows in through the interior too. Just the overall design of this car is just really nice. They did a really good job. And just even like this, considering that you have auto up and down for your front and rear windows. Again, this is a compact car. These features were not available on compacts just 6 years ago. And you have leather trim, you have soft touch across. I mean, there's not a lot of hard plastic in this car. And even like having automatic high beams, standard LED headlights, you know, even having the lane departure systems, all these things come on this vehicle. So, and just taking a look at this interior, I mean, look at the dash. I mean, the dash looks great. You have a 7-inch display inside your gauges, and you have an 8.8-inch display for your screen in the center on the front of the dash there. But love this car. Telescoping steering wheel, tons of different ways you can customize the seat. And for me, being about 6'1", getting in and out of the car is pretty easy. Now, you do have to step over this to get out of the car. Just keep that in mind. And this car has like some height on it too, so it's not like you're in a car. So for me, it's almost like getting out of an SUV for the most part, although this is considered a crossover, but not really hard to get out of this car. And I love the way the pedals look too. I mean, racing inspired pedals basically down here. Bose speaker sound system. It's gonna be 12 speakers, and just below your air vent you do have lane departure, and this is like an uphill system for the vehicle. Rear hatch, you can put it up or down, and you have seat memories 1 and 2. Place for some storage just below. And as I mentioned, you do have automatic high beams. That's what this button is right here if you push it. And you do have automatic headlights too, so they do come on when dusk hits. Now I'm going to close the door now. Hopefully you can hear what it sounds like. It's actually pretty solid for a car like this. Now I'm going to start the car up. I do have my phone connected to the USB down here. And as you guys can see, you do have Apple CarPlay. Now, these cars do not come from the factory with navigation. You can get an SD card as an accessory for this car though. Now, in order to use this, you cannot touch the screen at all. It won't work. What you have to do instead is you have to, I'm gonna hit home here so you guys can see what happens. So if you hit home twice, it'll just take you between either one of these screens. I don't know if you guys can see the dots below, but it has 2 dots that pretty much show you where you're going. Now, if you want to go over to the side, you have to kind of move this left and right, and you can twist it also. I'm gonna click here, and it takes you back to that screen. Now, as far as if you hit the navigation button here, it does bring you over to your Waze basically, so that's pretty cool. And pretty much everything has to be set up to your phone. You can't do this while you're driving. Now, if you go up to search, let's see if it'll let you search. Okay, so if you have preset things inside of here, or if you want to type in, I guess you can type stuff also. So that's pretty cool. I don't think my truck can do that. So that's actually a nice system for this. Now I'm going to unplug my phone now. Now without the Apple CarPlay, you have your information. Pretty much monitors your fuel efficiency, Sirius XM radio, and vehicle status monitor. Let's click on this. So this kind of monitors your maintenance here, and actually has remaining 6,600 miles for your next service. So that's pretty cool. Kind of keeps you up to date for your car. Has your owner's manual in there too. Entertainment, going to be for your XM radio, and you can actually change the stations also like this. So in order to go back, you have to hit this arrow button here. Communication. Now, as I mentioned, navigation. This system is navigation ready. In order to add it, you have to go to get the SD card, which is available as an accessory, as I mentioned. But it does show you the latitude and longitude and the altitude of where you are, and it has a compass up top too. Now, moving over settings, there's a lot of things that you can change. I'm not going to spend too much time in here, but feel free. You know, hey, there's a lot of dealerships that you can go and play with these features here, but I don't want to spend too much time going over them. Now, just below your screen, you do have a smaller screen for your AC, which I love. I love these buttons outside of this infotainment, especially that this isn't touchscreen. So you still have that here. Now, if you want to sync together your AC units, you hit the sync button right here on the side, and you can keep everything the same temperature. If you want to turn it off, it has a button there. Very simple to use. Heated seats, defrosters front and rear, caution lights just below right there. Push button start, as you guys saw. Now, this is my trusted Yeti. It's a pretty big one. Fits perfectly in these front cup holders. However, it does not fit well in the side cup holder, so I would recommend this bottled water for there. And you have a small storage just below with a USB. Now, putting the car in gear is really easy. You do have a manual mode here. Now, this car does have a manual park, so like I said, you can put the car in park and the car won't roll for you. And it also has an electronic parking brake too. This is how you control the speakers in your car. And if you want to change the channel, you can do that. And this is going to be for favorites. Mazda does have a sport button that you can use, and it does pop up here. And if you are in manual mode too, you can paddle shift the car. You have 2 on each side, plus to accelerate, minus to decelerate. And check out your gauges here too. I really like the overall design. When you're in sport mode too, I don't know if I showed that to you, it does show you that you're in sport mode. I'm gonna turn it off now. Now, as far as your gauges go, very clean. Now, if you hit the info button just below, you can see that it can change up a few features here. This shows you your miles per gallon, shows you your gauge for your fuel. Now just below here shows you the outside temperature, and on this side it shows you the trip, which is on this side. I'm gonna switch it back over for you guys. So it shows that this car has 84 miles. Now I'm gonna hit info again. Again, this is the button right here. It's gonna show you, this is the radar. You can actually turn off all, you can actually just not have anything showing except for the tachometer. I would probably keep it right here just to see my average fuel mileage, which is nice. And it shows you the compass in here too. Surprisingly, they don't put an auto dimming mirror in here. So this is just a manual flip up mirror, which is pretty interesting. You would think that they would put, you know, auto dimming mirror at this price point, but hey, it is what it is. You do have LED lights inside this car too. You have your map lights on each side, and you can actually turn the lights off when you open the door, or you can turn them on. Up here, place to put your sunglasses, and in the center here, this is how you control the sunroof. Adequate size too. They do give you grab handles on each side of the car. I do like the overall styling in here too. I like this black material here. So it has like a high gloss look to it, and your center console has stitching, leather wrapped, and it kind of goes back like the Lexus does. One of the guys at the dealership said this car is kind of really starting to do a lot of things with Toyota, and I can kind of see that in this car here. But not a large center console, but it's adequate. USB on this side, and you have a power outlet for here, like an old school power outlet. And pretty much closes that as easy as it opens. On the side here, they do have those lower AC vents. I love how low they look. This is a really nice car. Very timeless design. I can't imagine this car looking old 10 years from now. This looks really nice. And slow open glove box. And again, just really nice styling. So let's go ahead and take a look on the back of the car so you guys can see the rear. Out back, they still give you the same design cues as up front. Very nice overall design, piano black materials, stitching on the door. Now this seat is all the way back for my comfort. Now let's see if I can fit back here. And I can. Now let's see if I can close the door. Okay, that's a little different. So if I close the door, I'm not too comfortable sitting behind myself. As you guys can see, this is probably a car for maybe 3 adults, because I would probably put my feet on this side because this isn't that comfortable. But again, the back seats are pretty comfortable, and they give you a hump right here to give you some additional head space too. You have 3 headrests in the rear, and like I said, it has the stitching on the seats. Very, very nice design, and you have a center armrest with cup holders. But yeah, I wouldn't want to sit back here for more than maybe an hour drive. I'd be ready to get the heck out of here. One thing I love about this car is just the forward visibility. This has a really big windshield, and you can see really well. The A-pillars are actually really small in comparison of other cars its size. However, when you look out the back, there's not much visibility out there. And one thing I noticed is the mirror on this side kind of is being blocked slightly just by the overall design of the door. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, I would like for them maybe to lift that mirror up just a little bit, but I know with the overall design, that's probably why they did that. But overall, really great car. All right, here we go. Now this is going to be the optional equipment and the total MSRP, so be sure to take a look. It looks like the premium package comes standard. I don't know why they have it under optional equipment, because it doesn't raise the price. MSRP is $29,600 and with destination is $30,800. And the dealership has it marked down to $27,927. The last thing I want to show you are the different trim levels you can get. You do have just a standard CX-30. Here's the price. Select package. And it also has a preferred package, and the one we just reviewed was the premium package. And there's not much differences in terms of the engine choices, but when you get down into how many speakers it has, when you start looking at Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can see that the base model does not have these features. So it's probably a good idea to step up to a Select unless those things aren't important to you. But for the most part, as I mentioned, all trim levels have LED headlights. Now, the one we looked at did have signature LED with adaptive front lighting system. and be sure to go on the website and just kind of do a comparison on which one it works best for you. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. A few guys asked me to do this a while back. I apologize it took me so long to do this video, but I wanted to do it because I said I was going to do it, and I did. So see you in the next video.